This is the orthographic projection of part number 5. Part number 5 adds a whole bunch more detail. Remember, we want to show the most detail in our front view. So the question is, what's our front? Well, two rectangles, funky looking owl, square. But I like this one because now suddenly there's a whole bunch of stuff here. So we're actually going to draw it this way. We could draw it that way. We could draw it this way. I'm trying to eliminate hidden lines. So I think I'm going to do it this way. And we're going to call this our front view. So our front view, we're going to try to do it again, a sketch. So we're trying to get this really nice and square and try to get it proportionately correct. I see a line there, little hole here, little hole there, big hole here, little hole, and little hole. So now there's my front view. So my front view looks pretty cool. I like it. Do the same thing with the top view that we've been doing in the past. We're just going to project up very lightly. Those are construction lines, trying to keep them nice and parallel. I'm going to create the front edge. And remember, that front edge now is this edge up here. So I'm going to rotate on that. So I want to see this, which is pretty neat. So the back line is going to be here. And again, these are all construction lines. And we're going to do some erasing this time. So now, to get the rest of this projects up, and I'd have to do a little measuring here to know that this line exists here, this line would exist there, and these two lines would exist here. So there's my part. And like I said, we need to do a little erasing here, so these are going to go away. So far, so good. So now, we've got some other things we have to deal with. See these holes? We've been talking about tangent and kissing edges. Well, here we go. Each tangent edge of a hole deserves a hidden line here, because if you think about it, a hole in this view is a rectangle in this view. It rotates. So as you can see, my hands would rotate, just like this cylinder would rotate. It's a circle here, but it's a rectangle here. So we're going to see that here. We're going to project this up. It's going to become a hidden line. And we know from our part it goes all the way through, so it's going to go all the way through from the front to the back. In the middle of a circle, we always put a center line. Always have a center line in the middle of our circle. So we need one here, we need a little one here, and so forth. So now we have more lines. We have construction lines, object line, hidden lines, and a new one is a center line. The little holes here, so they're going to be close together, hidden lines with a center line. We have the big hole we're going to project through, the edge here, and a center line. And then these little holes again, hidden lines, and a center line. And notice the center line always extends beyond. So now we're going to do our 45. I'm going to come over here. And this is our front. Remember, we're going to pivot like this. That's our right side view. So our right side view is going to look a little different. So we're going to draw this out here. And I'm hoping that you're seeing now we're starting to show a lot more detail in our parts, because our parts in orthographic show more detail. Even though we could show it in a sketch, this is a sketch, but our isometrics and our obliques kind of eliminate some of this detail. It's harder to show. So now we see more detail. So now we're going to take this and we're going to project this over. This, remember, goes all the way through. We have a line here, and that line, if we think about it, where my index finger is, right here, this is the line we just drew right there. Well, it continues all the way through as a hidden line. So we're going to have a hidden line here. It's going to signify this surface that we can't see. Then I have a hole here. Whoops, I have a hole here, so I'm going to put that hole in. That's a counterbore hole, but we're going to leave it a simple hole for now just to make things a little simpler. I have some more hidden lines here, and this is where it's going to get confusing. They go all the way through. This goes all the way through. More center lines. And a lot of times we would have to do cross sections of this, which we won't get into here, to show what this looks like. And I'm going to stop there. We start adding more hidden lines, it's not going to make any sense. And sometimes it's better not to add those hidden lines, because the view is pretty clear as is. I would still need my center lines here. Still need a center line there to show where the centers of holes are. I left those out earlier because it's easier to project those while we can see the edges now that I've kind of screwed them all up. So that is how to make an orthographic projection of part number 5. I hope that helps. Good luck, and let me know if you need any assistance.